Lisa Chaddock. I'm a professor of geography here at San Diego City College. I am a physical geographer, and I've been involved with Audubon since I was a student. At San Diego State, I got involved with the Silverwood Committee, and Silverwood is a wildlife sanctuary here in San Diego that Audubon created to give birds a place to nest in the coastal sage chaparral oak woodland area. It's 800 acres. It's a big place. And I just got the bug. I mean, birds are cute, and they're sweet, and they're wonderful, and butterflies are adorable, and I just got the bug. And when I finally got to teach here, one of the first things I wanted to do was to start an Audubon club, just like the one I'd been in at San Diego State, so that I could give people an opportunity to be involved in making a difference. And I'm now on the board of San Diego Audubon, and I'm vice president till the end of this year. And it's been an amazing experience because I get to work on projects that will help San Diego in the face of climate change and help birds and butterflies and bugs as they migrate north and south, as they work through their changing habitats for climate change. At least I'm doing my part, and I'm teaching other people how to do their part and how to just find a place to feel like they can contribute, right? To be a part of things. So that's how I got started in this. We need to look at the habitat here that works and put it in and make sure that our habitats here that help the birds and butterflies is stable for them so that they continue migrating and being healthy. One of the things we have seen is birds that can't make it all the way on their migration and starve to death halfway through. The way we can help that is putting in native plants. The Plants for Birds Garden got started because California Audubon and then National Audubon gave the Audubon Club at City College a grant to start putting in native plants that would allow the birds to come back to this area as they migrate in the fall and in the spring. We were really excited because we started with 16th and B Street, and the gardening staff here, and Kim in particular, loved the idea and then gave us this space, the one behind me, specifically for hummingbirds. So this garden is planted so that the hummingbirds can come here and nest. What you'll see right now is hummingbirds competing for the nesting area. And then in the spring, you'll see them zooming all in over the place and being crazy and competing for the girls. And then it gets very quiet for a few weeks, and then you start seeing the moms again and all the babies. A project through National Audubon Society that wants to see us all put native plants back into our environment, because birds and butterflies and bugs, they all need their native plants. They're adapted to those native plants. They pollinate those native plants, so they need them as they come through in the fall and the spring. So here on campus, we were given a grant starting in 2017, and this club, Audubon Club, has been here since 2013. So we've really looked for places. And Kim, the previous gardener, said, well, take the area on 16th Street. And then she said, she liked it so much, she said, the area by the Seville, do you want that too? And we said yes, and asked National Audubon for money. And they gave us more money. And they have continued to give us money for the Plants for Birds projects, to where we now have 5 gardens here on campus. And on November 19th, we'll have number 6 and number 7 going in. Well, for the monarch butterflies, we plant milkweed. And on this campus, we plant narrow leaf milkweed. And it's because on the coastal zones, the narrow leaf milkweed is the one you would plant. There's 6 varieties of milkweed in San Diego, and as you move inland, they change. But along the coast, we can grow narrowleaf. We have some of the tropical, which is not supposed to, we're not supposed to use that. It keeps them here because it's green all year round, and we don't want them to stay. But the thing is, it's naturalized, so we keep pulling it up, but it brought them here. And every once in a while you see the little green acorn, and that's the chrysalis from the monarch butterfly. You just leave it alone, it'll hatch on its own and create a butterfly. For the birds, we do a whole selection of plants. The white sage, the Cleveland sage, those 2 are really important. They produce a seed that the lesser goldfinches really need. There are a lot of pentstemons and verbenas that are local that we put in so that the different shapes of bills can get to the seeds, and different bees and butterflies can use them. Let's see, we tried a laurel sumac, didn't do too well with it, and we tried coffeeberry, which should have grown well here, but it didn't have enough sunshine, so we're going to try it again across the street. Some of the plants we tried at first didn't work because the area wasn't sunny enough. We do also have a cactus garden over by the gym because it is so hot, and that has some plants that are specific to our deserts, like smoke tree and some of the opuntias, but their blooms are also good attractors for the hummingbirds, so yay. They have that on that part of the very hot part of the area. Climate change is a big issue. In San Diego, our club has been involved in the Rewild Mission Bay project because we're helping to we want to put in more wetlands. And we've been involved in planting at Otay Valley Regional Park because that area has a component of wetlands. And wetlands will help as sea level rises. When you come inland, the plants are going to change. As it gets hotter, they're reacting differently, and we're not sure how they're going to react, but we have seen in the past few years higher amounts of pollen because plants are growing in a richer CO2 environment, and therefore they have more pollen, and the pollen is more likely to drive us crazy. It's a really interesting issue coming up. We're not sure if that's going to affect other species, but it affects us. Some of the other effects will be more wildfires, hotter days in the summer, and possibly wetter days in the winter, especially during an El Nino when we could see a lot more rain and possibly flooding. So these are all issues that we should weigh and look at carefully. Native plants, right now, they're reacting by growing more, right? This could be good or bad for our fire season. If San Diego, which is in a weird little bight and gets some of its precipitation from fog, if we get more water, it will change the habitat, and we'll probably see less of the coastal sage scrub, which is where a lot of our endangered species like the gnatcatcher are. If we see a lot of sea level rise, a lot of our shorebirds won't be able to nest here. We already have a problem in Mission Bay where on the highest tide of the year, which is king tide, a few years ago it lifted the nests so high that the Ridgeway rails nests were lifted off of their plants that they were attached to and started floating out to sea. And it was volunteers who ran out in the water and collected the eggs, and then we hatched them at Living Coast and then re-released them. But you can't do that all the time. So we have to find components where we can move the habitat to where it's safe. That's why we want to do Rewild Mission Bay. We need to look at the habitat here that works and put it in and make sure that our habitats here that help the birds and butterflies is stable for them so that they continue migrating and being healthy. One of the things we have seen is birds that can't make it all the way on their migration and starve to death halfway through. The way we can help that is putting in native plants. We have an Instagram and a Facebook page for the San Diego City College Audubon Club. We are involved with San Diego Audubon, and they list our events on their event page on their website. And then again, on November 19th, or any other time you see us advertising for planting events, come out and put plants in the ground. We have a lot of other events, but Plants for Birds, but these are going to be specific to City College. The other ones are going to be at Otay Valley Regional Park, by Patrick Henry High School. We have a lot of high schools, Point Loma High School, who wants a native plant garden. So we're going to be working next semester to continue putting in Plants for Birds.